Hi guys, welcome back to another new video on the 2.8 Capri Resurrection. It's getting to be about the right time to start on some of the bodywork. Obviously we had a look at the underneath and some of the corroded areas under the car in the last video. This time we're going to have this driver's side wing off and see how terrible the car is under there. Mainly in the back part of the wheel arch, where it comes up the front of the A post. Is where I think we're going to find most of the problems, but I'm going to take this wing off. It needs some repairs around the front edge here, around the headlight surround, and on this very front edge here. So we'll strip this corner apart, take the wing off and see what we've got underneath. Now down this seam down the front here, we've got in the back of there's like a little lip on each side that has a series of bolts running down it. I think there's either 3 or 4 sets of bolts, nuts and bolts that come down this front edge. There is a small weld just here, which obviously I'll have to grind off to free the wing, and then moving up here, it looks as though, I must admit I have never taken a 2.8 or any Capri wings off. There's the one bolt here, which you saw me taking out a little while ago, but I think that everything else, is probably spot welded on, which is a bit of a pain, to be totally honest, because I don't want to do irreparable damage to the wing. Sorry, the noise of the rain on the roof is now probably taking over the video, but I'm going to have to drill out a series of spot welds along this wing flange, because the inner wing will need some repair. The strut top itself will need some repair, more substantially there, and then where it comes up the wing flange here is pretty much non-existent, so it's going to need a couple of panels and a couple of repair sections in there, and then a little bit further back there, just in front of the hinge, there's another nasty bit where the bulkhead panel sort of comes in and meets the inner wing. So I'm going to have to drill these series of spot welds off along this wing flange to be able to remove the wing. And then the bolts down the front here that we just talked about. In the back, I'm expecting that in the door shut there's going to be some bolts. Again, I've not taken one of these off before. And underneath, again, very often on lots of wings on lots of other cars you find that they are bolted on underneath here, but it looks as though it may well be weld on down here as well. So I'm going to have to try and get the wing off as damage free as I can, because I don't want to fit a new wing. I want to be able to reuse, repair, reuse and refit the original wing that we've got here. So it's going to be a little bit time consuming, but hopefully worth the effort at the end. Right, that's the wing flange undone. It's not very pretty at the moment, but I think that we've managed to save certainly the top edge of the wing. Obviously it's going to have some substantial repairs on the inner wing, sort of to create a new flange to attach the wing to, and the wing itself will have to have a new flange attached to the sort of inner edge of it, so that we've got two good, clean, fresh mating surfaces to actually get a proper weld, get a proper fixing together on. Now we'll come down to this front edge here, which is, I believe, welded on again. It's all a little bit tender around here. I think there might be a fixing in here, but it's all going to be weld-on fixings, where the weld is still any good, where the material is still any good, I should say. This piece here is pretty much through, so I'll just try and slice into there. Headlight bowl obviously needs quite a lot of work. Quite a lot of rust that's flaked off in here. The actual floor of the bowl there is quite good. The very end of the front panel here is certainly tender. Seen better days, but that will survive. We can get that to go again. But the part where the headlight bowl and the wing meet is sort of non-existent, so it means more repairs, but it does also mean right at the moment that we've got now the wing is free all the way along this flange, all the way down the front here, and we know that we've got some bolts down here, and then we've got some underneath the bottom of the A post, so we'll crack on with that next. So here we are at the bottom of the wing flange, just behind the driver's front wheel. It's not very pretty under there again. We'll have to, it's spot welded again, so we'll have to try to drill out the spot welds and save the bit of flange that is left there. Fortunately, the part where it comes down here is not, doesn't have any fixings at all, so that's quite good, but we're going to have some fixings along the bottom here where it attaches to the bottom of the floor pan in there, which are not going to be very easy to get to, but we'll give it a go and see how it turns out. So that's the bottom edge away. The top edge is free. Around the headlight is free, and underneath the front valance, where the valance joins the wing, is free. So we've just got the couple of points up the A post to do. I'm probably going to have to remove the door in order to get to those. So we've got one here and one here. Now, because the wing is sort of shielding the front of this, and down here it's shielding it as well, I can't get a grinder into it. Now, I've not got a finger sander at the moment. It's something that I will invest in at some stage, but for this time it's going to be a case of using that to this same tool, the sharpened screwdriver, basically, that we've used on the rest of the job. So see if we can get these separated from here. bottom one free, and hopefully it's just like a glue in here now. There we have a big gap where a wing used to be. We start at the front, it's probably best. We've got a little bit of a repair to do along this valance and up into the front panel, around that bottom vent just here, and where the bumper fixing goes. Just wants a little bit of a tidy up there. Then into the bottom of the sort of headlight panel, I suppose you'd call it, where the grille mounts. There's a little bit of repair needed there. Substantial repair needed around the headlight bowl. It's been sort of repaired. It's had quite a lot of filler and stuff in it, the thickness of that, in the past. Front slam panel will need a repair, a better repair than it had before. This has just been sort of tacked in just to cover up along here rather than have a proper repair done. Then the wing flange itself is going to need certainly straightening all the way along, and probably a little bit of, well, definitely a little bit of replacement sections going in as we go along this top of the, sort of near the strut mount. It certainly needs a piece folded and put in there. But underneath it's not too bad. We'll have a bit more of a thorough sort of dig and poke around, but it's pretty solid under there and into the back end of this front chassis leg. Now it will need a strut top repair panel, but they're readily available, so it will be a case of just basically taking the strut out and drilling the spot welds as we've done with the wing, taking this top panel off, repair the panel that's underneath it, and then put a new strut top panel on there. Continuing back along the wing flange, it's obviously going to need fairly substantial repair there. Now the end of the scuttle is pretty good, but as we go down into the bottom of the windscreen pillar, where the A pillar meets the A post, we've got a repair needed there. Just beneath the top door hinge, there will be another repair. And then as we work our way down, these top fixings that I was talking about, fixing there and a fixing there, that wasn't all of it. There were a few spot welds dotted around along here as well, so obviously I've had to chop those about to get those out. Into the bottom of the A post, we've got quite a bit of repair in here. Have a proper dig out of all of this sort of rust protection that, instead of protecting, has probably just trapped water in there and caused the rust to be more severe than it would have been otherwise. Into the front of this sill panel and up into the footwell, the side of the footwell, inner wing, whatever you want to call it really. This part here that's right away is actually just a screw-on panel, just a couple of screws, one there, so I'll see if they're readily available as well. If not, then we'll see about an alternative way of putting a wheel arch liner in or something like that. I have heard of aftermarket wheel arch liner kits for these, which obviously would keep a lot of the debris and road dirt and spray and salt out of the wheel arch once the vehicle is back into use. And then underneath, we're going to be needing to do a bit of a repair on the bottom of the footwell as it comes up into the firewall, and then across the floor here in front of the jacking point there's going to be quite a lot of repair, which I'm not sure you may be able to see better. No, it's soundproofing inside, so you can't really see it from in there. And then that will pretty much conclude this corner for the repairs. Structurally, obviously, we're going to go into wing and superficial cosmetic repairs on the wing after we've done this one. Here we are under the right hand wheel arch at the front, and this has had a little bit of a clean up to show the extent of the corrosion in this corner, up into the A pillar, obviously wing and door removed there, just showing the extent of the rot in there. Obviously it's going to need repair and patching in this area. It's also going to need a sill all the way along, which is not in great shape. And then inside in the footwell's actually in pretty good shape, except for where it just curves up there into the bottom of the firewall. But the inner sill is all pretty good, so we'll give everything a good clean up and cut some plates ready to weld in here. Right, underneath the pedal box there's a corrosion hole where the floor meets the firewall. I've cut a patch for it, cleaned up underneath, so let's just tack this bit in and start the first patch of the welding. Quite a nice simple patch here, obviously covering up that nasty bit that was there before. A little pressing in there to finish off this moulding that's in the original body panel. So in here, in the right hand suspension strut top mount, we've got a bit of rot. I've cut out the strengthening plate that is fitted to the 2.8. Underneath that, the inner wing, as you can see, is a little bit tender to say the least. So I'm going to cut a little bit more of that out, and then I'm going to make a cardboard template so that I can cut a metal section out to suit it. put that back in and weld it all around, and then sort out at least half of the strengthening plate. As you can see, that I've cut just along there. So hopefully we can have a secure suspension strut top mount. This is the rough template that I've made up. Just have enough cornflakes packet. Yeah, that roughly fits where we need it to. With that under there and a line of weld around it, I'm going to butt weld this end up here, and I'll just overlap very slightly there, and then the new half panel for here will come in over the top of that as well, just to give it lots of extra strength. I'll drill a couple of holes in here so that we can weld down into the top of this suspension strut mount, and then we're good to go. So here I've cut this plate, which hopefully is going to fit in there quite nicely. Got to put those holes in there before I plug welded through into the strut top mount. So just use a plug weld drill bit or spot weld drill bit to put those in there. So I've only gone through the top surface of that little repair plate that we've made. So we'll fill these with weld here and here. And then we can grind them off flat at the end. So then I've made this McPherson strut top mount reinforcing plate, or half one. I'll join that to the existing half because the part that rolls over the inside of the inner wing there is actually quite nice and strong still. The other side is good, thankfully, so I know you can buy these off the shelf as sort of reproduction parts, but this one is made out of 2mm steel. So good and strong, probably stronger than the original factory ones, and we'll get that welded in, see what it looks like. So there we have a repaired strut top mount, all nice and strong again, and a bit of seam sealer around various places. I'm still going to change this lip and then join that up with this piece at the front here that I've already done around the sort of slam panel to inner wing section. I've got to repair a headlight bowl. I'm going to manufacture a top part of the headlight bowl and repair that, weld a section into it. But then we're getting pretty much sorted on this corner. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you've enjoyed this video, please click like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.